say if someone has both a Canadian and UK passport, but has spent most of the last most of his adult life in New York City. He currently lives in Bali, but also travels throughout Southeast Asia. He gets paid currently on a contract by a US company into a US bank account. Where would he declare tax residency? Where would he pay tax on that income?
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's an interesting question, but rest assured that that case is not unique. I think many of us, I have more than one situation as well, and many other people do. So it does become tricky at times. Now with Canada, if it is you were at any point in time resident in Canada, upon leaving, you need to register with the CRA, Canada Revenue Agency, that you are no longer tax resident in Canada. With the UK, you need this. If you go to HMRC's website, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, there's a statutory residence test. So you want to make sure that you are not tax resident in the UK by going through that test. And it's basically, they ask you a series of questions, because I know that in the scenario like that, one is traveling around a bit. So to make sure that you are not resident in the UK, and that your center of life is not in the UK and your center of life is not in Canada. So then you can strike those off the list, and you'll only be taxed in Canada on Canadian source income. You only tax in the UK on UK source income. Now, if you were resident in the US, then maybe you have a green card, or maybe you're on a special visa or whatever.
It was just a temporary work visa, so there's no green card, no citizenship. Is not resident in the US because of the rules around days spent in the US.
Gotcha.
Okay. And
so then by virtue of, so let's assume that you can, first of all, you can be tax resident in more than one jurisdiction. I file 3 or 4 tax returns for myself every year in different places. So that is possible. So people who say it is not, they're misunderstanding. So, you need to sense check. You need to check HMRC, am I UK tax resident? You need to check the CRA, am I Canada tax resident? And Canada, when you look at recent cases that have gone before the courts in Canada, Canada's position is becoming increasingly aggressive, and they're saying that if you cannot prove that you are resident, you are tax resident somewhere else, then we will tax you. So Canada is one to be, and it sounds from what you've said briefly that maybe you have more connections to Canada than elsewhere. So Canada is the one I'll pay attention to. If you have no visa, if you're not physically in the US, then the US, it would not be one to worry about. But last but not least, and the most obvious one, given that whole thing about effective management, is Indonesia. Dickie, you want to comment on Indonesia?
Yeah. The important statement from DERREN is you have to prove that you are paying tax somewhere. Otherwise, the tax office where you reside will tax you. Right. Same in Indonesia. How you enter Indonesia? A tourist visa or working visa or investment visa? If you are entering Indonesia in working visa, automatically you will get tax ID, right? MPWP. Then you have to report your income tax return. And yeah, the rest is almost the same now because it is a worldwide, Indonesia adhere to worldwide income.
Yeah, and if it is that in your case that you've been in Indonesia for more than 183 days, and and visa runs don't reset the clock, so chances are you should be consulting with an Indonesian tax professional, because you may actually be tax resident in Indonesia, among other jurisdictions. We're saying probably not the US. Not too sure about the UK. So I would kind of like shine a light on Canada, and definitely Indonesia.
Regarding Canada, if I haven't lived in Canada for more than 20 years, um, is it still like I don't know if I've ever filed any kind of non-resident thing, but haven't lived there for 20 years. Is it still possible that I could be exposed there?
It's unlikely. It's unlikely if you've never worked in Canada, and 20 years is indeed a long time. But who knows your personal situation? Where's your family? Where are your best friends? Where are your social ties? Even though you have not been in touch inside of Canada, it's unlikely, but it's worth just checking it out. But to Dickie's point, you must be resident somewhere, and I think the most obvious candidate so far is Indonesia, assuming that you spend more than 183 days,
right?
Or entered on an investor visa, etc. So
that's helpful. Thanks.
Please subscribe, like, share, and comment below. Our books and upcoming events are available at htj.tax. Email us at help@htj.tax to engage us, to advise on international tax or business matters.